Muslims living there. So there are some aspects where Muslims are being killed, prosecuted in India. Here we have some advantages and some disadvantages. Alhamdulillah, there is no killing until now. Inshallah, it will not happen in the UK. Muslims in general are living in a peaceful, secure life from that angle. However, we don't have adhan except maybe some few places, and inshallah this will increase. We don't have the Muslim personal law to be recognized or integrated within the British judicial system, but at least Muslims are managing this situation in their own way. There are some attempts to have the Muslim personal law integrated or incorporated within the British judicial system. So as you see that there are advantages here and there are some disadvantages as well. So you cannot say to Muslims coming from India that you have to do hijrah from here and going back to your country, because obviously their country is not a Muslim country. So the ruling here to say that moving from a kufr country to a Muslim country is not present. You are talking about moving from a kufr country to another kufr country. Which kufr is less and which is better? This is another discussion. But just I'm talking about the issue and I'm dealing with the Muslim population one by one. So this is with regards to Muslims coming from India, and with regards to Muslims coming from Sri Lanka and other places where their original countries are not considered to be Muslim countries. Now, take out India. Now, let us talk about Muslims coming from Bangladesh and Muslims coming from Pakistan. In most of the cases, okay, forget about most of the cases, we'll come to it later. Muslims living in Pakistan, again, it is true that it is a Muslim country in general. If, as I said to you, I don't want to get into the definition of a Muslim state, a Muslim country or Dar al-Islam now. I will deal with it later. But Pakistan in general, it is called a Muslim country. However, there are many aspects of Sharia that are not present and not implemented in Pakistan. There are many aspects of Islam are not implemented in Islam, and I think everybody agrees with me. And recently even the situation become worse in Pakistan, and without naming the current regime or the previous regime, they are trying to westernize Pakistan as much as they can, and all of you maybe have seen these things. Let alone that they were trying to stop some Islamic activities, and all of you know what happened to many madrasas there. It is true that madrasa system is still implemented there in many villages and in some cities as well, but there were many attempts to close down so many madrasas and so many Islamic activities there. Of course, Muslims there, they have freedom to practice so many Islamic aspects, including many of the Islamic penal code system, such as I don't know about stoning, but such as capital punishment and lashing in some cases. There are some aspects of Sharia which are not implemented, and they are calling for Sharia not to be wiped out, not to be implemented, and they are trying now to change many aspects of Islam. And this is with regards to the regime. Of course, in terms of preaching and giving da'wah, there is a level of freedom there, but also there are many limits where Muslims cannot cross these limits in Pakistan. Also, in terms of the issue of wala and bara, still Muslims there having so many restrictions whenever they want to express their views about certain Islamic principles, such as wala or bara, such as jihad, such as about their position towards America and the attack of America, and so on and so forth. So there are certain limits. However, we agree that maybe the situation there is better than the situation of Muslims here. But what I'm saying is, although it is considered to be a Muslim country, yet there are many aspects of Islam that have been removed from the system, that have been removed from the social life in Pakistan. And this is one angle. The other angle, this is the Islamic angle of the story. The other angle is the socio-economic angle. Now, economical wise, many Muslims tried, and maybe many of you knew some Muslims who tried to live in Pakistan, but they couldn't live in Pakistan. Actually, as you know, that more Muslims are trying to come from Pakistan, and as you know that the Pakistanis families, they always try to have their daughters engaged to someone from Pakistan, in order to a relative from Pakistan, in order to bring him down, and vice versa. The boy is trying to bring his wife from Pakistan, and then she's trying to bring her family, etc., because of the desperate need for financial stability for people living in Pakistan. And as far as I knew, many Muslims tried to settle in Pakistan, but they failed to do so. Yes, maybe you can mention very few examples about some people who settled there and continued to live there. Now, I also forgot to mention that the issue of security, I pointed out that there are certain limits for preaching or giving da'wah and speaking about some Islamic principles, and this brings the issue of security wise. You know that Pakistan in general is almost controlled by FBI, and some people told me that whenever you get into the Pakistan, any of the Pakistani airports, the FBI members, or at least the FBI cameras, have to take your picture and have to send it to their system, intelligence system, and to check whether you are allowed to get there or not. So it is heavily controlled by the American government. So you don't feel that Muslims there, they are having their full security, their full freedom as well. So this has to be in mind when we want to explore the option of Muslims going back to Pakistan. And we mentioned that the financial pressure or the difficulty in terms of economics in Pakistan put a huge pressure on Muslims there, and to the extent that they are thinking to leave Pakistan and to come to the UK or to go to some other countries. And we have seen that it is not feasible for so many Muslims to go and live there. Similarly, you can say the situation is in Bangladesh. However, the situation in Bangladesh, Islamic-wise, is far better than Pakistan. The control of America over Bangladesh is not like the control of America over Pakistan. And the Islamic situation in Bangladesh, is generally better than that of Pakistan. However, still there are limits for Muslims there. The socio-economical situation is also considered to be of a difficulty, and Muslims living there are facing so many economical difficulties, and that's why they are really trying their best to flee that country, to move away from that country. And to be honest with you, I have seen some people who are trying to go and settle in Pakistan, but I haven't seen many people, or I haven't seen anyone who is trying to go and settle in Bangladesh. I don't know why. Okay, maybe because of the devastated situation in Bangladesh, Allahu Alam. I don't know. So these are the available options for Muslims when we want to tell them that you have to flee this country and you have to leave this kufr country. Now, of course, someone might say, what about Arab countries? Those who are coming from Arab countries. As you know, that the Arabs in the UK who have been living here for a long time, or who are considered to be British Arabs, like myself, in many cases, first of all, they are a very, very small minority among the Muslim population in the UK. And according to some statistics,